Alright, so here we are with box art for your consideration 3, Sophia edition. So if you see any bad formatting things, blame it on her. She's not good at making PowerPoints. Notice the lowercase u. Putting her on blast out the gate. But she found most of the things that we're looking at today. I only put in one submission, yeah?
I believe that's it.
I think, yeah, I only managed to sneak one in. Because she had most of them. A lot of book covers this time, so let's see. How has this not been like a meme template? They're even all on the same ski.
Yep.
Look at this clown conga line.
And then this random child who's not a clown.
Yeah, there's like this one kid, and that's it. Well, I can't tell if this one is, but at least he's wearing a wig. So this is a movie.
No, this is a book.
Okay, I can't tell because you put some real unhinged...
No, that's not me. That's my English teacher. This is originally supposed to be a project that I made for fun for my English teacher. So that's why there's some notes from him.
Okay.
Around.
That's...
By the way, the link does in fact work.
I mean, if you want to mash in all that stuff. So there's just some other movie that they were talking about. Okay.
It's a stand-up comedy kind of thing, from what the bit I've seen.
Oh, okay. So do you know... So Holidays and Festivals New Year is a book.
About New Year's Eve.
I don't associate clowns with New Year's.
But I associate grapes with New Year's.
Where are grapes with this?
Spain.
This is in Spain?
No. Let me explain. So in Spain, during New Year's, every time a bell tower rings, each ring correlates to one grape. And that grape is a wish.
So is that like Buddhist New Year, where they hit the bell for the 108 Temptations? Neither of us knows what either of us are talking about. And again, but what about clowns?
Yeah, we need answers.
You are a very confusing child. Okay, what's next? Classic. So have you actually watched Night Trap?
I've seen Scott the Laws play it.
But, like, have you seen all of it?
No.
It's baffling.
Yes.
Like, I look at Mortal Kombat, and I get why the ESRB exists. I look at Night Trap, and it's like the textbook definition of I'm outraged at this thing that I haven't even looked at. Right? Because you look at it now, and it's like, that's a low-scale T. Or, yeah, I'd say that's a low T rating if you rated it now. It's like, you don't even get any tittos. Remember, the 3DO had an FMV game literally just named Sex. I feel like that might be the entire 3DO catalog, but yeah, there's a 3DO game just straight up named Sex. Or former child star Nana Plato, who's from Different Strokes, and then she did the pornography. That sounds like every child. Well, that's sad. Why is this sad tidbit here to make fun of the dumbest game in the world?
I don't know what Mr. Footy was thinking.
Yeah, it's weird that your English teacher is like, yeah, so porn though, child.
Look, he likes blocks up for your consideration.
Look,
I put it on there. Bring him off himself.
Look, I'm adhering to the YouTube child standards, even though I'm listing all these videos as not for children because I want to say fuck. I don't understand the education system, but then again, I also work for it, so what do I know?
You're a bus driver.
I drive the bus, so I tell them to not yell Oni-san, yell Ne-san. Wink. What the hell is Night Trap? You want to play you want to play what Night Trap is in real video game form? Go play the Deception games. They're pretty cool, actually. You build a giant mouse trap. It's kind of great. Her eyeballs are bulging super hard. But this is actually an accurate representation of the game because there are ninjas chasing a girl and military dudes talking over nonsense. It's not non-stop action.
You're forgetting about the part where there's vampires.
I forgot about the vampires, yeah. Night Trap, the spiritual predecessor to Five Nights at Freddy's. Don't even laugh, it's true! I can feel that sinking in as you drink your Dr. Pepper. Okay. Oh god, this is... Our Boys' Tales. What are they doing? Like, I see this weird quote, and I'm like, is this a war book? And apparently, like, 17 people wrote this.
According to the Amazon listing.
What is it even about?
I don't know.
Is it an anthology?
Probably.
Why did you put this here? This isn't, like, the worst... I don't know.
I don't know. I just find things.
This is a pretty standard book cover. Although, I guess it is for consideration. And I'm considering it adequate.
Adequate.
Wouldn't it be adequate? We had to get both of them in. Yeah. Like, so here's the thing. I talked to Sophie about this earlier, and she screwed up the aspect ratio, so they look skinnier than they are, but they are some chonk boys on that original box. But I guess it does come from the school of characters screaming at you, so that makes it mildly funny. You got anything to say?
At least I put him bam Viking in your face.
He's just a Viking in your face. He looks like he's friends with the Shatterhand Man. Only he's not punching the screen. Oh Lord. Oh Lord. Oh my God. I could make a better Photoshop than this.
Yes.
This looks like something you made. Like, this is the part that, like, really sets it off. It's like, they didn't even crop his hair properly. Because it's like, how do you not... Oh. And the lighting is all over the place. It's like he's getting lit from the right, he's getting lit from the left. He's not shaded by this dragon.
This dragon parrot thing.
Dragon parrot.
Harry, I don't know how to tell this. Harry, I don't know how to tell this, but I think your parrot has cancer.
You're a cancer parrot, Harry.
I'm a what?
Second video in a row where we've talked about cancer. You know what's not cancer, though? Sailor Moon.
Yep.
We were watching Sailor Moon right before this, and we got to the episode where they introduced Chibiusa. That might be the greatest episode of television. It's... gem. And it's like, they made no effort to try and make it seem like they're standing on anything. They're just bizarrely in the void. Also, how did this man afford his hair care products in the medieval times?
Book logic.
This man walked out of 2007 straight onto this book cover. And then they just... Actually, wait. Is he wearing chainmail or is that just edited on?
I don't know.
It kind of looks like they put his face on someone else's body. But I don't think that's true because then it still has the bad Photoshop outline. My God, this is a mess. This is like okay for kids' first Photoshop, but like this should not see a professional release. Oh my God.
Yes.
That's whoa.
FE1.
This is here for one reason and one reason only. Pantsless Marth. I wanted to sneak this onto another one, but I couldn't find like a high enough res to satisfy me. But Sophie put in the legwork, and it's actually a really good box art. I really like it. You have So, I'm not really familiar with the Fire Emblem 1 cast. Is this the party?
That's some of the party.
Yeah, well, some of the party.
Yeah,
except
because-
for waifu here.
Yeah.
But that's because she's like the actual canon waifu.
Yes. Thanks, Sheeta.
I don't know. The only Fire Emblem 1 character I know other than Martha and Kade is Tiki. Where's Tiki?
I don't see Tiki anywhere.
Tiny child version of Tiki, but then she grew up.
I am still pissed about the fact that in Engage she didn't use her awakening design.
Her awakening design is so much better than her original design.
Yes.
Like, dramatically better. She aged up well, this 3,000-year-old Chinese myth dragon. Okay, so Sophie's explained this to me, is apparently her teacher, looking at the Fire Emblem box art, thought about falling asleep watching Toonami. I mean, there was the Fire Emblem anime.
So...
I would watch a modern Fire Emblem anime. Can we get a Path of Radiance anime?
Why Path of Radiance?
Because then I don't have to play it. Look, people, I know you're going to be upset, but pre-Awakening Fire Emblem, permadeath is what killed that franchise, just saying. It wasn't saved by waifus. It was saved by them getting rid of permadeath. Echoes is also the best modern Fire Emblem game, and that proved my point, because it's not a waifu simulator. It's a real video game for adults. Well, not adults, for children. Wait.
Teenagers.
Something. Look, I cannot smash my waifus in The Awakening. Or the Echoes. Oh my god, my brain's falling apart and we're only like four of them in. Good box art. I like this one. I'm actually surprised that they kept, when they eventually localized this like 30 years later, even though you're not allowed to play it because Nintendo's run by morons, they actually kept this box art. They just put English text here instead of Japanese. Which I'm actually really, really happy they did that.
Also...
As opposed to making a modern box art for it, because that's super lame. You gotta keep that 80s anime alive.
Yes, also...
With these shoulder pads. Well, 90s shoulder pads more than 80s shoulder pads. So this was ahead of its time.
I thought FE1 came out in 90.
It did? I didn't.
I know Gaiden came out in 91. Or 92.
Look, in my mind, fantasy anime should look like Slayers. And old Fire Emblem looks like Slayers. And characters should have giant shoulder pads. That's my 90s anime. Fantasy animes. Not like now where all of these people got hit by a truck to get here.
Oh, you ruined the moon. I was supposed to say, but Mars! That's one of the best things from the OVA.
Man,
Thanks, Gordon.
Marth should have been named Mars because that's what he's supposed to be. But they had the screw up thing because... Did Melee come out first in America or did the OVA? Because I think the OVA did.
The OVA, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, so it's another victim of the S thing because Japan is built on syllables instead of consonants and vowels, so they can't do the S very well because they put a U at the end. Anyway, Oklahoma is where he lives, and other things on his mind. I can't imagine this man is terribly interesting enough to write an autobiography. He's like, well, what do? I do wheat farming. Well, what's that entail? I plant the wheat and then I come back 8 months later. And what else is on his mind? What do you think he's thinking about?
How he hates his wife.
He hates his wife. He doesn't think the Thunder will make the playoffs this year. I don't know. People in Oklahoma don't seem exciting, but then again, we live in Iowa, so what the fuck do we know?
It's true, though.
I don't know. I'm like, oh, it's so exciting. It's Oklahoma. Oh, okay.
I mean, at least both of these states have a musical tied to it, because we have Oklahoma for Oklahoma, and then we have the music we have for Iowa.
I've driven through Oklahoma, and there's nothing there, so I don't know. All the Oklahomans are going to be real upset that an Iowan is blasting them. I can picture this man's voice. He totally sounds like this. Can you feel it? Can you feel C.S. Lovett's love for the Jesus? Look at this. Look at this tracksuit. My God.
Yes.
Was the 70s or the 80s?
I don't know.
So I'm just like, boy, that's not a good look. But then again, tracksuits just aren't good looks in general. Who do you know has looked good in a tracksuit? You know what? Dragon Ball characters look good in a tracksuit because they were eventually like, why are they wearing a gi? Put them in a tracksuit. So good on 18 and Gohan for rocking the tracksuit to their fighting tournament. Yeah, Jesus. Well, also, is he just running around a random high school track?
Probably.
Because usually when you go jogging, you're not going to a track. A track implies a race or a competition. So is he racing Jesus?
I don't know, but he was a celebrated speed walker.
Yeah. Because you see, when you're a carpenter, you can't run with your materials, but you can run pretty fast with them. So Jesus is power walking with his gigantic planks over his arms. In my mind, Jesus is like really swole. Because he's a construction worker. Think about it. I'm blowing your mind with this.
Keep in mind, we have 3 Bibles.
Why do you own 3 Bibles?
I don't know why in my house.
I own 0 Bibles. Okay, Jesus. Thanks for jogging with us. So she showed me she had this on the list, and I'm like, why did you not get Snow White and the 7 Clever Boys? The Animal Soccer World one is kind of nuts. Also, in Animal Soccer World, none of these characters are like walking around on their hind legs.
Except for the goose.
Well, that's because a goose doesn't have 4 legs.
Fair enough.
This is not representative of Animal Soccer World, but oh god, this must be real confusing to someone that doesn't know Animal Soccer World, because it's so Phoenix Games here. This logo, this glorious, glorious disaster. So what Phoenix Games did back in the day is they would put on a really poorly made animated movie, and then they'd put in some mini games like, hey, there's a jigsaw puzzle, and there's a coloring book. Again, PlayStation 2, the greatest of game consoles. They were still active on the PlayStation 1 also. These movies, my god, the diamonds!
Were made by Dingo Pictures.
Oh, Dingo Pictures, possibly the worst animation studio ever. But they gave us one shining moment. Yee. Yee wasn't Animal Soccer World, but oh god. It's just the fact that it was a Phoenix Games Dingo Picture thing that's why this is here. If we wanted to laugh at some shit, Snow White and the 7 Clever Boys, it's oh god, you want to lose hit points in real life. Also, I feel bad for this bird here getting cut off by the Peggy rating. Wait, was the bird the referee? I thought the bird was the commentator.
I believe it was the commentator.
So they can't even get the... Also, the king wasn't even playing the soccer.
Yeah, Simba was not playing.
Oh, God. I don't think there was even a pig or a warthog or a hippo. There were monkeys and lots of animals.
And lots of stealing from Disney.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Disney stole from everything. I don't think they had the idea to make animals play soccer. Especially when those animals were all recycled animation stills from something else.
Yep. Thanks, Germany.
Dingo Pictures is so stupid. Yes!
This is what Zane wanted.
There were 2 that I brought in, and I'm like, we gotta talk about them. I love the Japanese Ratchet and Clank box arts, and Up Your Arsenals is the best one. Oh my god, it's perfect. Ratchet's giant Japanese eyebrows, which that's a whole story unto itself. Should I tell it now, or should we keep talking about this box art?
Tell it now.
Because this is like the first scene of the game too, so this is faithful to the game. No, so for whatever reason, so in America, Ratchet has brown eyebrows, and they aren't nearly as thick. But when they were localizing it into Japanese, someone somewhere was like, so he's a fuzzy cartoon man. He should have gigantic black eyebrows. And the weird thing, again, this is 2002, maybe getting localized into 3. Not entirely sure. For some reason, they kept this design not only through all the PS2 games, they carried it up to the PS3 games. And if you just set the language to Japanese, it'll change his eyebrows. And he still has the eyebrows on those later box arts, along with in the game. And it's so weird. I can't think of many characters whose design changes by region. Well, I mean, I guess like all the Advance Wars characters did, but that was only for like 3 games. Whereas Ratchet carried 14 years and almost as many games.
But they stopped once we hit PS4 plus PS5.
Yeah, because they were like, oh, we can't put in the fake eyebrows on this CG movie. So I guess that's when they were like, okay, we can stop. No, I love this box art, because this is what I think of. This is Ratchet and Clank in my mind. It is sugar-fueled chaos. However, he did not get that gun until he got the ground. That's inaccurate. I do genuinely wish more box arts would have, like, very specific moments of games on them. Instead of like, oh, it's generic pose thing. No, this is the beginning of the game. You start the game by diving out of this dropship into getting shot at. Also, Up Your Arsenal is like one of my favorite games ever. Like, it's a top 5 game for me. You have nothing to say on the topic.
I have nothing to say.
I should read the Ratchet and Clank manga.
Princess Soup.
So, is she the princess of soup?
Is she making soup for the princesses? Is she making soup out of princesses?
Is it a soup out of princesses? I assume it's that she is the princess that makes the soup, but she makes all the soup. Is she simultaneously both forms of Cinderella at the same time? Because why is a princess cooking?
Exactly.
She's Mario, I made this soup for you, and Mario's like, I don't think you're the princess I want to go to. Peach made me a cake. Not a fan of soup. Except ramen. I don't know, why'd you put this here?
It just showed up, and I was like, what the frick is this?
Princess soup sounds more nefarious, but at least she's putting, like, every ingredient in there. Oh, she's gonna knock that pepper over. Wait, Okay, I was like, what's going on here? Why is this heater on the range so small? But also, like, the whole cover is fish islands. It's kind of weird.
Why do you have to do this, Luz?
Why did you have to do this? Yeah! So this was one that I brought in. Spider, the video game. Guess what about this video game? You play a spider. The spider does, in fact, get a knife attached to one of its legs. I don't think it gets an M16 with a grenade launcher, I know you get other weapons, but it's like, it's very specific, like... Oh, I love this. You got anything here?
Fun fact, he used to have arachnophobia, but Skyrim cured him, and that's why he walked out of the second Harry Potter movie midway through.
Skyrim didn't cure my arachnophobia. It cured itself at some point. But, yeah, no. When I was, like, 8, I was like, you gross spiders, and I gave up on Harry Potter, and generally that's when I've learned, no, I was on the right side to do that. Because anytime someone tries to explain Harry Potter to me, I'm like, that sounds like the worst. And I watched the first movie, wasn't terribly impressed. Watched the second movie, left because of spiders. So I'm like, how did this become the biggest franchise ever? Like, it's weird when, like, a gigantic cultural phenomenon that should hit you just completely bypasses you. That would be like if you didn't like Minecraft. It's like on that level of, like, how did you dodge this? And I'm like, I don't know. Because Harry's a big nerd and I didn't like him. So that's my piece on Harry Potter. So if you have a problem with that, I don't know, good for you. It's a Spider the video game. It's Spider about guns. I like Gun Spider. Oh, another story that I have about spiders. I explained this to Sophie. It's like the most radical thing in the world. So over where I work, there's this every Halloween they put out their Halloween decorations, and this decoration that they have is a giant skeleton riding a spider. And I'm like, someone needs to put that in an RPG. I want to fight that guy or befriend him. Maybe both. That's a boss fight.
I mean, there is spider jockeys in Minecraft, but you don't like Minecraft.
You're saying spider riders, if you will.
They're called spider jockeys.
I don't remember spider riders other than that it was called spider riders and that they rode spiders. Zoids. That's all I think of in that era. I feel like most of the early 2000s has left my head, but I think that's just because my memory is not good unless I find it hilarious. So Ron Weasley here turns into a dog, I think. Is that the plot? Are these the same boy?
Yeah, probably.
This is a case where I don't want to watch it because I'm like, no, the thought of like a bad dog head mounted on a person is funnier than him literally turning into a dog. It's like Teen Wolf but dumb. And I'm looking at this and I'm like, this comes from that era of like every terrible talking animal movie. Even though there's like a new one coming out now. And I'm like, why does this genre still persist? Babe was a mistake. This is all Babe's fault. Here, it's a talking animal, and I'm like, I hate this. I hate talking animal movies so much. It's like if they just talked in their mind, it'd be fine, but then they always make sure to have the mouth move when they talk, and I'm like, stop it. I hate this. Sophie's got nothing because I went on like a weird rant about it the first time she showed me it, and I was like kept going, and I was like, I need to find when this originated. Eventually I determined it was Mr. Ed, but I kind of like Mr. Ed, so I don't know.
I originally was gonna do the first movie, but I couldn't find good quality poster of the first movie, so I had to settle with this.
Well, also, we're looking at that, and it was like, A Boy Called Wolf back in the doghouse, and we're like, is this a sequel? Was A Boy Called Wolf successful enough to get a sequel? Or is it that it's just one movie, and it has a confusing subtitle that only shows up on some of the DVD covers that implies that it's a sequel? Well, I mean, what kind of dog is this even? I don't know. I guess he moved up in the world from being a ginger to being a dog. That's rough, buddy. Rough. So she put this on here, and I'm like, why? This box art rules.
Well, sometimes you need a little bit of everything.
We need some quality.
Yeah.
Just this box art is genuinely fantastic. I love it.
Also, the Neversoft logo.
Yeah, we need to keep pressing on about the Neversoft logo because it's the best. And the animation for it is also great. I haven't played this game. I need to do that because everyone keeps telling me it's good, but I wonder if it's like how much has the PS1 jank like weakened it over time. I might actually just do that later today because I want to do that. Action will be my reward. Also, I think you put it on there because they showed Spider-Man 2 at the thing.
No.
No?
I
It was done before then?
No, I just randomly put it on there looking for box arts. Why not?
I hope in the new Spider-Man game they reenact the shocker scene because Yuri Lowenthal is growling everything in that gameplay footage. Don't touch my hair.
There's just a little piece of thing.
Piece of thing. I don't know. It's such a good cover. And you're like, that's what a Spoderman should be.
Yeah.
We have considered it. It good. Okay, so here's the finale. Why did they think this would sell? It's like I think of that, and the only thing I can think of is clowns farting in the basement. Now, I'm assuming that wasn't the thought, because this is clearly quite old. So they wouldn't have known, but it's like... Why? Who made this? Who made Relax with My Horns?
Someone from the Void of Brooklyn.
Why are you so obsessed with the Void of Brooklyn? You keep forcing it. Because it's like, I think of clown horns and I don't think of relaxing. Especially since it's a sad clown. We should listen to this album and give you a full review on the next exciting episode of Box Art for your consideration.